Hear me out, hear me out. Let me just get this off my chest. Welcome to Her Diary Out Loud with Danny Royal, where my journey does not define me, but it defies the barriers of caring about what other people think. One real life experience at a time, my story, my way. I mean, it's better out than in, right?
These days, I find myself on an emotional roller coaster. I am on an emotional roller coaster trying to come up for air, let alone just adjust to the new norm of having a baby, being a mother of 8, my body getting back to where it once was, my emotions adjusting to my hormonal changes, amongst so many other things. Have you ever heard of the saying that sometimes you gotta laugh to keep from crying? Well, I was talking to a loved one of mine, and they said that, and that's where this episode comes from. This release comes from. This brain drain, this daily diary dump comes from. It comes from the truth. Sometimes you really have to laugh to keep from crying. But funny thing, me? Oh, honey, sis crying. These days, sis is crying. And sis is crying because life is lifing, not always necessary in the bad way, but just abroad. I took some time to recover at my dad's home for a couple of days, weeks, if you will, until my 6-week checkup. And it's been quite the roller coaster for many reasons, more than one. Telling my story and giving my journey is where I show forth my growth. I show forth my transparency. I show forth the highs and lows of life. Things that I've gone through, that I've encountered, things that I'm going through currently that I don't quite always understand. But I trust that God will get the glory. The day that I came back home to my dad's for the time to heal and to get the support that I needed, oh my goodness, it was just like, wow, I'm here in my childhood room with a baby. I couldn't believe life. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe me. Funny thing is, it's not like I didn't have other children. It's not like I didn't come back home before. And at that time, when I came back home, I didn't have a place of my own. So I was totally surprised at all of the emotions that were rushing and just chasing me down as if this was my first time. My first time being a mom. The first time I've ever been back in this room. The first time I've ever experienced these memories. That could be the farthest thing from the truth. But another thing that sparked so many emotions is just while I'm here, or while I've been here, tapping into truly how things make me feel. Me really realizing what I am willing to tolerate, what I've tolerated, getting to the root of the matter of things, where it all stemmed from. Why have I been the way that I've been? What is the background of some of the history of things from my parents, my father to be the example? Where has it all come from? How did you live? What was your history like? All while seeing my dad go up and down battling cancer that spread in his body to his lungs. And so while I'm unpacking things, I'm still trying to guard my heart and my spirit and say, Lord, whatever is in me that's not like you, take it away, because I don't want to be at a place where I'm offended. And then I had to ask myself, why does these things that I'm experiencing and encountering in these moments, why do they affect me so much? Why do they make me feel the way so much? And I can answer you this. One of the reasons why it cuts so deep is because although I trust God, although I serve a healing God, a saving God, a righteous, loving Father, the reality of it is I don't know when my Father is going to leave this earth. And one thing that I do know is there's nothing like a parent. Both of my parents are here, and I get a chance to experience the joy of having them here. I don't want to waste time with the woe is me's and crying over spilled milk that I should have just let go of. I understand that my parents both, that they raised me and they loved me to the capacity in which they were able. But then on the flip side, I also don't want to be the person who's just accepting anything, but being expressive in my own right, addressing the things that really affect me. Because I know that if I allow those things to affect me here on this earth, on this side of heaven, knowing how it makes me feel, that somehow unaddressed situations can turn into traumatic experiences that I carry down to my own children. And I refuse to do that. They say sometimes you have to laugh to keep from crying. I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry anymore. Now, I can't tell you that I'm not going to cry no more. My hormones been up and down and all over the place. But what I do know is that I serve a God who will wash and can wash anything white as snow. I serve a God who can cleanse my bloodline from all traumatic experiences and create in me a clean heart and renew in me the right spirit that's in him and show me a life that I've never seen before. My journey is real. I thank God for my parents. I thank God for my dad. I thank God for his life. I thank God for my mom. I thank God for her life. My prayer is to be better than them. My prayer is to show love in ways that I've never seen, to show grace in ways that I've never gotten. And this is not because they're so bad, but it's because I recognize and I feel in my spirit so heavy that it's time to come up a little higher. It's time to be transparent. And what you felt as a child, gathering all the information you can in love and also using it to your full advantage. Me being here as I've healed at my dad's house, in my childhood room, at my childhood home, that's not by accident. That is all God. Let me tell you how I know that is all God. I know because before I had my son, I was over here with my daughter because I get her on the weekends here at my dad's. And I stayed a couple of days longer than what I thought that I would, because I wasn't sure what was going on with my body, because I was in and out of the hospital trying to figure out if I was going to give birth to this baby boy, this beautiful baby boy that I have today. I wasn't sure. Nobody was sure. But then I went home. I ended up saying that I was going home because there was an incident that had taken place with one of my babies. And I was just like, you know what? Yep, it's time. And all I could think about was I need to have the discussion with my dad to see if it's okay for me to stay after I give birth. That conversation technically was never had. It was mentioned and kind of danced around in other conversations, but never directly addressed. And I thought that I was going to have that conversation with my dad directly on one specific day, which was the day that I decided to go home. Somebody say, thank God for a home to go to. My sister just so happened to stop by, and she just so happened to stop by, and we noticed that she was there as soon as we stepped out of the house. And she was just like, hey, Daddy, where you about to go? Take Danny home. And she's like, well, I'll take her. And surely that moment of conversation that I thought that we were going to have was completely diminished. Why? Because we weren't going to be riding that ride together. So I said, okay, hey, well, I'm going home, but I'll just ask him about it another day. We'll talk. Maybe I'll call him up and we can chat about it then. Then never came. Well, why didn't then come? Because I ended up giving birth literally the next day. In my spirit, I felt that I should be there. In my spirit, I kept talking about it because it was in my spirit so much. I'm like, okay, I manifested it because it was God's will anyway. My stomach was in my feet, even with wondering if he would even say if it was okay. Should I be wondering if it's okay or not, considering that's my father? Honestly, I don't know. How I felt in the moment, I felt that shouldn't have been an option to say no, although it's his home. But then I'm like, I was raised here. But he has that right, period, right? So many emotions. So some of the questions that are raised that I have is like, why do you have these feelings? But they stem from things that I've experienced in my childhood that I didn't address then, or I didn't even realize was even an issue. And now I find myself being here days on end, weeks on end, having to unpack things, not wanting to feel unwanted or unwelcomed in somebody else's space, although this was a space that was once so familiar to me and still is today. The space never changed. Shoot, my dad never changed. But what I realize is that I'm changing. And I'm changing for the better. And before my father could ever leave this earth, there are things that I must unpack so that I can get to the root of all of my healing, every bit of it, so that I could be a better parent, so that my pockets can look better, my patience can increase. And amongst other things that God wants to do within this year. And I know that he's going to do it. I'm so excited about it. So here's to 2026 healing completely, being vindicated completely, serving amazing, awesome, and a good name all at the same time. Getting to the root of the matter is a must. We will no longer surface level heal. Why? To appease somebody else's needs and wants. It is necessary for growth. And I feel myself growing. So today, in your daily diary dump, what I want you to do is acknowledge those areas of yourself that you have not let go of, that you've not opened yourself up to because you put it in a compartment. Because you put it in a compartment. It's time to stop compartmentalizing what we should and should not handle right now. Why? Because tomorrow's not promised to any of us. But while we're living, let's address it so that we can live and not just exist. It's time to get out of survival mode. And the change may just begin with you. If you've liked this episode, be sure to connect with us on all of our social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Patreon, and YouTube. Tell a friend to pull up. Let someone know that we're here. Tell us how we're doing. If you have an anonymous story that you may want on our podcast to be recognized, be sure to email us at feminineandfit03@gmail.com. That's feminine, AND, fit03@gmail.com. And remember, ladies, you're not just mentally fit, physically fit, or spiritually fit, but you are feminine and fit. Bye.